Let's get straight into it. What's going on, YouTube? What's going to all our platforms? Yeah, I can say that now. It's the Florida boy making big noise, the one with the deepest bag and the biggest swag. And I'm back better than ever, and I'm bringing an even bigger bag. It's your boy Jay Glanton with another episode of Brothern Hospitality. I hate to say that by myself. My dear brother Willie Hurt is in the field right now, grinding, so we can't be on this episode. But this is the episode where I take y'all to Jay's Corner. We're going to be talking some NBA draft. We're going to be talking some prospects and just the climate of this draft and a lot of questions people have been having up until this point, even some free agency. All right, so to get straight into it, man, people felt, and when I say people, I don't just mean casuals. I don't just mean diehard NBA fans. I don't mean other hardcore journalists like myself. We all can agree as NBA fans that this was a very different NBA draft. This was a very, I won't say lackluster, but the hype for most prospects wasn't there. And many people felt like they didn't know who these prospects were before draft boards. Granted, the game is changing. The climate of the game is changing. But I'll even say it myself. Some of these guys, before looking at draft boards, I had never heard their name a day in my life. So that's very unfortunate. But what can you do? Man, it has been a question if the draft is what is it? People are starting to notice that the climate of NBA is changing. A lot of more guys are coming from overseas who are all buckets. And the game is expanding more than it ever has before. We've seen Olympic teams beat our USA teams here and there, not too often. But it's safe to say that, and you got a lot of guys who play ball here going to play for their, homelands. Joel Embiid. We see Manu Ginobili. Plenty of guys over the years are starting to, Kyrie Irving, it's been a topic of conversation. You got guys going back to play for Canada. That Canada starting five right now is disgusting. I'll just call it what it is. It's disgusting. Olympics are coming up soon. I know we got to be excited for that. But yeah, man, we'll go straight into the NBA draft. I wanted to take y'all through some lottery picks. Then we'll talk some other, recognizable, iconic picks. We'll talk about what everybody wants to talk about. I know I'm Bronny James. But to open it up at pick number 1, we had by the Hawks, the Atlanta Hawks, Zach Rissaker, 6'9", 215. This is going to basically be like an inside scoop on every prospect, what we can be expected from them, what I noticed. I love to watch film. I love to look at what scouts are seeing, also what scouts aren't seeing. Maybe I see something somebody else doesn't. I feel like I'm just as credible as the next man, being as how hard I work at this craft. Zach Rissaker. I'm not gonna lie, I did not know who he was before draft boards, but his film definitely informed me. The thing about Zach Rissaker is at 6'9", he has a gifted ability to see the floor and run the floor in transition. Now, the question may be, how will that transition to the modern NBA? Because it's not going to be, when you watch film, when you watch these highlights, you got to really watch games to see how these guys play. But it ain't going to be too many easy fast breaks. It's not going to be too many easy gimmies. But I will say, to give Trae Young some help, considering that he'll be there, I honestly love what I see out of Zach Rissaker. He's shot 40% from 3 this season, playing in France. He's from France. Another Frenchman prospect. Okay, France, watch out watch out for France this summer. But it is. Do I see him being the number 1 pick? No, probably not. Do I see where the Hawks were trying to... Do I see what the Hawks are trying to do? Yes, I definitely do. Like I said, the kid shot 40% from 3. After the year before that, when he was 17, he shot 30%. So, I mean, a 10% increase is the difference between NCAA Division I athlete and an NBA player. That's the difference between a high school athlete and a college athlete. That ability to shoot that 3 ball at a high percentage, we know their 3-point line is a little bit closer. But I don't think that changes what the Hawks see in Zach Rissaker. They're going to space the floor. You have Trae Young. Now, you get rid of DeJounte Murray, which was interesting to say the least because they gave him away for a bag of chips. But that's another topic for, later in the episode. You don't... I think... Yeah. I mean, I support the Hawks' decision. I'm not the GM. If I'm the GM, do I draft Zach Rissaker? Probably not. But the question is, a lot of people have an answer or problems. Many of the Hawks fans were disappointed in the pick. But I'll say wait and see. Zach Rissaker is definitely a guy. And he can dribble very well. Can handle the rock. Like I said, a dangerous threat in transition. We are looking at, with a Trae Young, with the facilitator that is Trae Young, we're looking at a guy that could easily get 12 points a game off of just 3-point shots alone in transition, or just getting that's including transition. That's not even including catch and shoots. That's not even concluding creating a shot for himself. Is he the best shot creator by himself? Not yet. But at 6'9", who's really contesting that? We've seen, and I want to let's say it now. That tends to be a common denominator in where the league is going in today's NBA. We've seen the archetype of Kevin Durant, and I think everybody, every time they see 6'9", 6'10", somewhere around there, as soon as you get to that 6'9" mark, it's like, okay, can we build a KD? Can we build somebody? And the reason why is because I'll say the risk is so much lower than the potential reward, right? At 6'9", if a guy can't do what you draft him to do, you can kind of work with that. But at 6'1", if a guy can't do what you draft him to do, he doesn't have many other options. He better go get a generational 3-point shot or somehow, some way be a pest as an on-ball defender. If that doesn't happen, man, a lot of these guys we see fall out because they feel like they're undersized. That's just the way the game goes. It's unfortunate. Sitting at 6 foot, it's unfortunate, man. I can get buckets at 6 foot, But it's not about me. We'll go on to the next pick. Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr drafted by the Washington Wizards. 7 foot, 224. Watching his film, the kid is an absolute lob threat. Defensive anchor. And he's a great decision maker in open court. You'd be surprised at 7 foot, 224. He's a little bit on the bigger side, but he's got a, we'll say, he's not, LeBron's 260, so at 224, the kid can move. He'll have no problem moving. But the thing that shocked me the most was at 7 foot, his ability to make decisions in the open court. That was my favorite thing about him. His floor vision, his court vision was the next best thing to great for his age and for considering, where he comes from. I do think that Alex Sarr has a massive defensive upside, and we talked about him being an open threat and an open lob, like a threat in open court. But what ultimately the Wizards are looking for in Alex Sarr is a guy to build around defensively. The kid is agile, he's mobile, he's nimble. Jack be nimble, Alex be quick. The kid can absolutely get from one side of the block to another to go get a block or to contest a defensive shot. I love the fact that he uses athleticism on every single defensive occasion on that side of the floor. There's not really much more to say about Alex. He's got a big upside, big upside. I think that we're looking at, I don't want to speak too soon. I would not like to speak too soon because he'd have to put on a little bit more weight. But with his athleticism, we are seeing a guy with the ceiling of a Dwight Howard, of a guy who can be Defensive Player of the Year and still be an athletic freak. Now, will he be as dominant in Dwight Howard with the ball in his hands? We'll have to see. I think that he's shown some flashes that he can get to the rim if he wants to at will using his athleticism. But at this stage, in this big game, in this game where amazing happens, you have to be able to do more with the ball in your hands. And that's my issue with defensive anchors. Can you be that defensive guy that can get a stop and then go down, they can pass you the ball so you can score in the post? If you're not going to have a modern day game, if you're going to be a very old school, original-esque kind of center, you need to be able to score out of the post at any occasion. That's just my perspective on it. Next up, we got Reed Sheppard, 6'2", 182 pounds, soaking wet. Drafted to the Houston Rockets. We know where he comes from. My guy Reed is fresh out of that blue blood of Louisville, Kentucky. Therefore, my boy is fresh out of that blue blood of Lexington, Kentucky. Therefore, we already know getting drafted at number 3 what Reed's going to bring. When I look at Reed's film, when I analyze his game, it doesn't take long to see it. You can turn on any highlight reel, any game you want to, watch a full game. You can watch a quarter, you can watch possession. He is a modern day shot taker and shot maker. I like to say shot taker and shot maker. A lot of guys are modern day shot takers, but are they modern day shot makers, right? How efficient is he? Shooting 35% from the field. Damn, I should have wrote that down. Shooting 53% from field goal and 42 from 3? Sorry. Damn. Shooting 53% from field goal. 53% field goal percentage. And a 52 3-point percentage. Reed Sheppard, are you serious, my guy? Is that how you... Okay. He's big on the scene. We understand that the Houston Rockets... They've been having some talks, whether they've been trying to go after Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. I am so excited for Reed Sheppard to go into that program and just be able to do essentially whatever he wants. I think he'd be a great addition to a Jalen Green. My concern is Jalen Green is one of those modern day shot takers. We've seen him get more efficient I'll give him that. He's definitely gotten more efficient over the course of his career so far. But can he be a modern day shot maker? And I think that Reed is the perfect yin to his yang in that aspect. Now we can spread the floor out a little bit more, and Jalen doesn't feel forced to shoot whatever ill-advised shot we know he can shoot sometimes. Reed, it ain't been too many guys who's gonna shoot 50% from 3 in a season over the course of their career. We haven't seen it too many times. I really do believe that Reed can be one of those guys, though. I genuinely, truly believe that. My favorite thing about Reed is his competitive edge. He's got a will to win. And not only does he have a competitive edge and a will to win, but when the team needs him, he is a clutch performer. So, Reed Sheppard is going to be a name that we will be repeating for many years to come. So, with that being said, we'll get into some ceiling and some floor for Reed Sheppard. My ceiling for Reed Sheppard is going to be modern day Chris Mullin. Yes, Chris Mullin, excellent three-point shooter, averaged for about 22, 23 points for a career. Made the right play, averaged 5 assists, kind of all-around guy, but ultimately Chris Mullin was just a shooter and a scorer. And he was super competitive. You're not going to be able to play on that 92 Dream Team and not be able to hang. There was everybody on that. Those were some big dogs. You had Magic Johnson. We know the names. MJ. You weren't playing on no team with MJ and getting his respect, especially at his position. Reed's a little bit shorter than Chris Mullin. Chris Mullin's about 6'4", 6'5". So, but the thing about Reed, he wouldn't have been taking that 3, but 6'2" and not being a freakish athlete, that means you are really gifted. And Reed just understands the game to a whole different, like, he gets the game. He, more than, like, all in all, more than his stellar shooting ability, he makes the right play. And in modern day NBA, that's what we need, because we have a lot of shot takers. A lot of shot takers. The shot will look nice. I mean, off the dribble, you know, going every which way, leaning every which way, but can you make that shot? Can you stop on a dime and make that shot? When the game's on the line, can you make that same shot? And I think that Reed Sheppard is fully capable to do that. His floor, I'm looking at a Brent Barry, you know, a guy who builds a solid career out of just being able to shoot the rock. And mind you, Reed is still an athlete now. Many people forget that boy Brent Barry won an NBA dunk contest. Do not forget that. But I see a Brent Barry in terms of NBA career outside of all the gimmicks and All-Star Weekend. I see a consistent three-point shooter, obviously. And I think that'll be the reason why he sticks around in this league for a very long time. Not many people have the ability to shoot over 50% in any NBA season, any level of basketball, whether it be high school, college, any level, overseas. So the fact that he's able to do that, you can just tell that he's a generational shooter, and he'll be around to hang. Next up, we got Stephon Castle, 6'6", 210, drafted by the San Antonio Spurs. I am loving this pick. My concern is, and everyone else's concern, is that his jump shot is inconsistent. Honestly, lackluster, if I'm being completely honest. But my favorite thing about Stephon Castle, I have a soft spot for great point guards. And when I see Stephon Castle, when you see him with the ball in his hands, he is comfortable. Not only is he comfortable, but he's flexible. He's a great combo guard. And he will play on both sides of the ball. 6'6", 210, that is a very, very, very generous build given by God in order to play the point guard position. He can also stretch to the 2 and make plays on the defensive end at the 2. Again, the big concern is when is his jump shot? Is it going to be consistent? Is it going to come in? My question is, at 6'6", 210, I know you've been able to get away with it because you're an oversized NBA point guard, but why? This may seem a little bit superficial, but why don't you have a jumper yet? Right? You were a McDonald's All-American. You were able to get this far with no jumper. This is the league. You will get excavated quick if you cannot go develop that. So I'm gonna take Reed. Overall, though, Stephon Castle, he's an overall impact player. If his shot is not going, or if he can't hit a consistent jumper, I see him being a lockdown point guard. If he can't be that, I see him being a facilitator. If he can't be that, I see him being able to get to the rim. If he can't be that, I see him all in all just being able to make the right play. That's why I like him. Now, here's the thing. People such as a Stephon Castle, right? I'm getting reminders of a little bit of Alonzo Ball. Alonzo Ball coming in was only 6 pounds lighter than Stephon Castle. They are both freak athletes. Not freak, I mean, hey, 38-inch, 40-inch vertical is very, very freakish to me. Very freakish to me. But, said that to say, if Stephon Castle can develop a consistent jumper off the dribble, I'm a kind of guy, my ceiling is very, very to the sky. It is very in the stars, in the nearest galaxy. I got high hopes, and I'm a big fan of the game. I love the game, and I love to see people do good. With that being said, my ceiling for Stephon Castle is gonna be Penny Hardaway. Okay, I said it fast. Penny Hardaway, Anthony Hardaway, right? Stephon's like an inch and a half shorter than Penny, but Penny was just an overall impact player. And when I see Stephon Castle, I see an overall impact player. And what better overall impact point guard to pair up with than Victor Wembanyama and the rest of that Spurs supporting cast? I am loving this. I'm loving the pick. I think it makes total sense. This so far out of these first three picks, this is my favorite pick. Loving the Reed Shepherd pick too, but Stephon Castle is just exactly what I want to see in an NBA point guard. He's exactly what I want to see. Because worst case scenario, the thing I understand about this game, and don't let this fly over your head, but when worst comes to worst, all you can be, when worst comes to worst, all you can be is an NBA point guard. That's all you can be. You can be a lot worse than that. But at the end of the day, all you can be is an NBA point guard. If it gets any worse than that, you're going overseas, and you're going to be an overseas point guard. And you don't want anybody calling you an overseas point guard. You don't. So, to be able to stay in this league at least. Now, granted, you want to go play in the G League, or you want to go, you know what I'm saying, take your talents to Germany and go drop 30, 40 a game, by all means, please do it. But the truth of reality is, it's just not going to be too many draft class that even some of the best ones in recent years, 2011, a lot of those guys who were first round, even the first round guys are no longer, I don't want to say no longer with us, but when we turn on the TV, we might have seen them at once. We don't see them anymore. John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Derek Favors. That was like the three-headed snake of that draft class, and that draft class was very extensive, very deep, and it just sucks the fact that John Wall is no longer in the league, and it sucks the fact that DeMarcus Cousins was honestly excavated from the league, but you know, that's a conversation for another day. And these are guys 50, like DeMarcus Cousins, 50-point center, developed a jumper, got in the league and developed a jumper, developed a consistent three. John Wall. Good God, do we not remember prime John Wall? Come on now. It's like we know something. But at the end of the day, you have to have something different in order to be last in this league for at least 10 years. John Wall did that. DeMarcus Cousins did that. So I can't be too, disappointed. Seven. If you can get a good 7 out of the NBA, boy, You beat a feat that not many folks could beat, and so that's where I leave with Stephon Castle. Next up, we got Ron Holland, 6'8", 197 pounds to the Detroit Pistons, and my God, Ron Holland is not a guy you would like to jump with on a Friday night. This is not a guy you'd like to jump with on a Friday night. The kid is probably the best athlete in this draft class so far that we've seen. Every fast break, it's electric. And that's another point that I wanted to make for him, is the fact that he's electric on every fast break. And he can just flat out score it. He's coming from the G League. He can flat out score the ball. And not to mention, he loves playing defense. 6'8", 197, jumping out the gym, and you love defense, and you can score the ball. Not only are you an athlete, we got many athletes, but can you score this rock? There's plenty athletes can play basketball. You can play basketball, but can you put it in the bucket though? Can you put it in the cup though? And Ron Holland is the definition of that. Young kid, very vibrant energy, and he's just electric. And I also see him being. You don't take me for it. Don't take my word for it. Go look. That kid has got a knack for defense, And this is somebody who can last very, very long time in this league off of just defense. He's got no problem scoring. He averaged 22 points a game last season. No problem. So, 20 points, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds. And that was only in a couple games in the G League. He only played 14 games. Kid's a dog. And he's got natural point guard ability as a forward. He's always loving to see. He's always loving to find an open man. Ron Holland, I hate to play favorites. But Ron Holland, man, oh man, please stay on the track that you're on. Get in that gym. Work your behind off because, dog, you got so much potential. Ron Holland is exactly what I want to. I mean, what more can you ask for? Me, I'm starting next. Hey, listen. 2K25, I'm starting my franchise build it around Ron Holland. 6'8", natural point guard, jumping out the gym, fluent jumper, averaging 21 points per game at 17 years old in the G League. 18 years old, sorry. I've seen all I need to see. But that's that on Ron Holland. For a ceiling, I'm gonna go Dominique Wilkins. I said it. An electrifying guy, athletic, can play defense, can also score with a jumper. Dominique Wilkins, when I seen Ron Holland, I was like, man, who's a guy that can do this? That can do now. The thing is, depending on how well he can develop his court vision and develop his ability to be a floor general, him being a natural point guard, we've seen the best prospects be able to know what to do with the ball when you're about to get double, triple team on the drive. But in the NBA, if you can continue that at 6'8", being able to jump out the gym, can shoot an open jumper, I've said enough. Next up, we have Tidjane Salon. Tidjane Salon. I don't know how to pronounce your name, buddy. Sorry. 6'9", 207, out of France. He is a pure offensive threat. Smooth jumper. Can make any shot that he wants to. He's very comfortable taking and making any shot. It's this comment like, man, what happened to the day of the natural point guard? And which is why I say that if you're a natural point guard, I feel like you can kind of hang. But it's like we want all these 6'8", 6'9", 6'10 guys to have the ball in their hand now and create a shot for themselves. Which, by all means, please, by all means. But it's like, damn. You know what? What happened to our Baron Davises? What happened to our Derrick Roses? I miss Derrick Rose. I miss Baron Davis. I miss John Wall. Like Russell Westbrook. I miss those guys. What happened to you? Was just 6'2" and a bucket. You was just cold. That's what we used to say back then. He cold. He wasn't a bucket. He wasn't tough. He was cold. And so. This is a constant formality we're seeing in modern day NBA, and this draft especially. 6'9" can shoot the ball. You can always do something with that. Unfortunately, you can always do something with that. Ceiling, I'm gonna go Andre Karolinko. Efficient shooter from the 3-ball. If he can kind of position himself to be a little bit more of a defensive problem. We are in good news. Floor, I'm going to go Ryan Anderson. Consistent 3-point shooter, knockdown guy, same height. Spot up, shoot the ball. We pass to you, shoot it. One of those guys, 3 and D. Can he turn into 3 and D? The Portland Trailblazers with the 7th pick will select Donovan Clingan. 7'2", 282 pounds. Good God, it's a big boy. That's a Buick. What Shaq drive? Shaq drive a Buick. Donovan Clingan, man, high Q, not IQ, high Q out of the low post. Absolutely getting it done out of the low post. But the thing to notice about him was his pace. to be almost 300 pounds at 7'2", he's got a very good feel for the game, and not like double teamed either. Like, I'm talking dimes out of the low post consistently. Donovan Clingan reminds me of a classic NBA big man from the 90s and early 2000s. Big dude, a lot of weight on him, getting in that post, and he I don't want to say it. He banging low. He getting I said that. Yeah, I said with my chest. He banging down low. He throwing some bows. You know, he gonna make you feel him. You know, he gonna throw that shoulder at you, and right when he throw that shoulder at you, he got his backdoor cut, and he gonna hee. Maybe not a hee, but maybe like a hee. You know, like he gonna make the right pass out of the low post. My favorite thing about Donovan Clingan, he doesn't hold the ball for too long. Great decision maker, and super excited to see what he turns into. Honestly, with every center and power forward nowadays having a 3-point shot, I don't even think it's a concern for him to develop that. He's big. He's big. So he don't really gotta. Donovan Clingan isn't a prospect that gotta go get a 3-point shot if he wants to hang around in the NBA. He just gotta do what he does and do it great and do it well, because there's not too many of him left. For ceiling, if he does develop a little bit of more of a IQ from a defensive standpoint, looking at kind of a defensive player of the year, but can get you 20 points, Brad Daugherty. We remember Brad Daugherty. At least I remember Brad Daugherty. I know y'all youngins. I don't know if y'all youngins know about Brad Daugherty. I know about Brad Daugherty though. Defensive player of the year, and can score too, and big boy, big body. You know what I'm saying? Throwing that body. Floor, we're looking at a Zydrunas Ilgauskas. Yes, Big Z. He wasn't terrible too either. Now he wasn't terrible. When you think NBA big man of all time, do you think Zydrunas Ilgauskas? Probably not. But people don't underrate. Go check Big Z stats now. He was averaging a cool 18 and 10, 18 and 12. To almost 20-point season sometimes playing with Brown on the Cavs. You know, and he was. People don't want to admit it. He was a little bit skilled. So I like Big Z to floor. Ceiling, I think Brad Daugherty is considerably better than Big Z. I think that's really all I got for Donovan, man. We'll see what kind of. And nowadays, y'all, these NBA GMs, they trying to build. You know, the one. They trying to build the all-timer. You know, nobody. What happened to not even complacent, but what happened to grateful? You know, you get a guy. Granted, we want everybody to get better. We want to be better, but sometimes 7'2", 285 is enough, and that's what I see in Donovan Clingan. I hope, because if not, he's going to fall from grace quickly. But yeah, that's all I got for Donovan Clingan. Next up. Big Shot Rob, the certified bucket getter. That's all I have on my notes for Robert Bucket Getter Dillingham. 6'1", 164 pounds, soaking wet. Bro is literally 1 inch taller than me and 10 pounds heavier than me. Out there giving whoever the work. Whoever. It doesn't matter. Rob Dillingham does not have a concrete NBA comparison, ceiling and floor wise. I kind of had to stretch it a little bit because I'd like to say Jamal Crawford, but he's not even close to 6'5". So we're not going to be seeing those 4-point plays like that. Or we'll be seeing the creativity and the ability to shoot the jumper off the pick and roll and get creative. But yeah, I wanted to say Jamal Crawford. That's who I would think as floor. I'd also like to say Tim Hardaway, but I don't know if Rob is going to go and I don't know if he's going to go and be that 8 assist guy at night like Tim Hardaway was. We know he had a killer handle, but I don't know if he's going to be that. So for me, my ceiling, ideally for him, was a John Starks, right? And John Starks typically doesn't really get talked about too much, and when it comes to the all-time guys, but in his prime though, John Starks, he was a little something. Now you better go ask about John Starks, dog. He was tough. But man, bro, Rob, like, he the definition of this generation, and watching the era of basketball that he grew up and had a chance to watch. He's a product of that. He's a product of AAU bucket getting, I need all the cameras on me because watch this next play basketball. Kyrie Irving, Darius Garland, flashes of, those guys. Donovan Mitchell. I mean, Donovan Mitchell's a bucket getter, and Donovan Mitchell plays a lot bigger than he actually is because people forget he's only 6'1". But, bro, I just don't know. I don't know who can guard Rob Dillingham. Right? This is a kid that got drafted at number 8, being a 6th man on his team. And y'all better get ready. Y'all better get ready. And they sent him to Memphis. Sorry, not Memphis. Minnesota and Ant. I don't know how that's going to go, but I know it is about to be a hell of a highlight reel for Minnesota basketball this season. Get ready. Who does Rob turn into? Like I said, I'm hoping he can turn into a John Starks, get the pace of the game down, get it under control. But honestly, it seems like Rob doesn't really need that because he's been doing the same thing since high school. I'm going to make my move. If you bite, I'm going to make this move. If you don't like that one, I'm going to make another move. And I'm going to make you overcommit, and I'm going to shoot this pull-up J in your face no matter. That's the bottom line. The bottom line, you're going to get the pull-up J no matter how you want to. And overplay this pull-up J if you want to, and I'm to the basket. So I'm very excited for Rob Dillingham basketball. I really hope that maybe, after he puts on some more weight, he can get a hang of the game and really become, like I said, a John Starks. And yeah, Zach Edey. He's what I like to call the strategist. He's the strategist. For the past 2 years, I haven't exactly been the biggest fan of Zach Edey. I mean, 7'5". Come on, bro. I expect you to average 20 points a game. I expect you to average 12 rebounds a game. I expect you to be winning your conference's player of the year and things of that nature. I expect you to do. I did not expect you to make it to the men's Final Four. Not only the men's Final Four, but the last two. I did not expect you to do that. So I'm going to give you some okay. Kudos, Zach Edey. I like to call him the strategist because being at 7'5", 300 pounds, even getting double team, triple team, it seems as though they figured out a strategy in order to get that boy to the championship. But all in all, he's got an efficient touch around the rim, obviously a generational frame. His ceiling is going to be Mark Eaton. His floor is going to be Simbular. If you don't know who Simbular is, go look up some Simbular highlights. There won't be many of them. There'll be a few, 2 or 3. But yeah, Simbular. I'm just not impressed by a big guy. I want to say something else, y'all. Lucky I want to. Big brothers playing basketball isn't new, so it's just I don't expect the most. I don't expect much out of you when you are the same height as Simbular. I'm sure Simbular would have did the same thing in college ball, but this is the National Basketball Association, the best. This is the best of the best. Where's Taco Fall? Bobo is struggling to get consistent minutes on an NBA team right now. Why should I trust you, Zach Edey? You're not as talented as Bobo. You're not. So, yeah, that's all I got for Zach Edey. Cody Williams, 6'7", 180. An absolute runaway train. He gets a full head of steam. He gonna make the right decision. Not only is he gonna make the right decision, he gonna get to that cup. And he's not the biggest athlete. He's 180. So, he's kind of got like a guard body. But he's also a spot-up shooter. Shot 42% from 3 last season. Ooh, that's clutch. So, we'll go with for the ceiling. And honestly, I take that back. Cody Williams actually is an exceptional athlete, but he is so good at. Next up, we got Cody Williams, drafted by Utah. And Zach Edey was to the Grizzlies, by the way. 6'7", 180 pounds, a runaway train. And also a spot-up shooter. Averaged 42% from 3 last season. I'm very excited to see what he turns into. My ceiling for him is going to be Pascal Siakam. My floor for him is going to be Derrick Jones Jr. And I love me some Derrick Jones Jr. For real. Like, back to 2K16 days. That Miami Heat team with Derrick Jones Jr. Like, hey, you can get the work if you want it. Goran Dragic. I remember, Goran Dragic, Derrick Jones Jr., Hassan Whiteside. I was there. I was live and well. But yeah, that's going to be my floor. My ceiling going to be Pascal Siakam. We see Pascal is just continuing to be better and get better as time progresses. And he has no point of slowing down. And so, yeah. Hopefully, he can become that. If not, I see him sticking around for a good while. The concern, obviously, is his weight. He's 6'7", 180 pounds. He's got some weight to put on. Like now. Like in the gym, eating peanut butter jellies 8 times a day, drinking your protein shakes. I need the steak and potatoes. Whoever your personal chef finna be, make sure he got you, because it's time for you to put on some weight and get in that gym, my dog. We know you can jump. What else is new? A lot of guys can, So, yeah. Next up, we got Matas Buzelis. 6'9", 200 pounds, surprisingly, an effective playmaker, and a 3-level scorer. He makes the right decision. This is like another prototype 6'9" guard potentially we have on our hands. That's what he could be. You watch his highlight, you watch his film. The kid he's making a lot of great decisions, and he's making a lot of great passes, and he's got something. And can also shoot the ball. He's a 3-level scorer too. Can score at any level of the floor. Plus, he plays defense. Like, he wants to play defense. So, for my ceiling, this is a rare prospect we see. Not too often do we see a guy like this. But I'm hoping and I'm wishing an Anthony Davis, right? Athletic, can dribble the ball, can make the right decision, pass to the open man, and play both sides of the court. Anthony Davis, hopefully he can stay healthy and, make an impact ASAP for the Bulls. Chicago right now, we don't really know what's going on, because with Lonzo Ball and, Lord, don't stress me out. Don't stress me out, Lonzo, please. Get up. But, nah, we don't really know what's going on with that, but hopefully Lonzo says he's about 70% right now. Hopefully we can see him get back in the gym this season and, return to Chicago and do some great things for that organization. I do not think his career is over yet. Floor. Like a Nikola Vucevic, 6'10", 6'9", can shoot, can get to the rim, can kind of bang in the paint a little bit, post fadeaway. Like I said, he has a higher ceiling, a considerably, when it comes to skill, a considerably skilled higher ceiling than a lot of the bigger guys I mentioned. So that's what that. So he's got you know what I'm saying, he's got all the tools for success. He's got all the tools. Next up, we got Nikola Topic. 6'6", 190. Practical court vision for an NBA guard. He's a flexible finisher at the rim. He's got really good touch around the rim. He has a lot of finishes in his bag. Cutting him off at the rim is not enough. You might have to throw another body there. And he's not the most athletic guy, but he just understands. He's not the most athletic guy, but he just understands how to score at the rim. His pace, you can tell he's a kid that's been playing pro basketball at a young age. And that's why I love watching. I honestly love watching. I love watching overseas guards as a guard because they are taught to play the game such a concrete way. They show up and show out every time. Not show up and show out, but they show up every time. They play a very consistent version of basketball because they understand the game and because they played pro so much. They understand defensive rotations. They understand zones. They understand hedges. They understand all the reads you have to make coming off that screen. They understand that, turning that corner. They understand that. So it's a blessing to watch him play ball. For ceiling, I'm going to go with Goran Dragic, right? Goran Dragic had exceptional court vision, but also could score, a decent amount in the mid-range and can shoot the three as well. So, and he was a little bit, not oversized, or Goran Dragic about 6'5", but very creative at the rim. Goran Dragic got a hell of a highlight tape. Y'all go check that out, man. Goran Dragic. Floor is Nate McMillan. If you know, you know. That's all I can say with that. Next up, we got Devin Carter. My favorite prospect in this NBA draft, Devin freaking Carter. To the Sacramento Kings. To help whatever is going on in Sacramento right now at the guard position. Devin Carter is just he's exciting, man. He's exciting. He's just so all around versatile point guard. For me, like, my favorite thing about the game is like a guy like Devin Carter, man, finishes at the rim, shoot the pull-up mid-range. You can understand when I see Devin Carter, I see a guy not, it takes a lot. At the end of you, an athlete if you're in the NBA, but just work. That's what I see when I see Devin Carter, man. 6'2", 195 pounds. My ceiling for him is going to be a Mike Bibby. Mike Bibby's a very it's crazy to think about, but a household name in the NBA. You don't talk about the 2000s guards without Mike Bibby. He was efficient. He could do a little bit of everything, and that's what I see when I see Devin Carter. They're about the same size. So I'm interested. Now floor, I'm not even going that low of a floor. I think he's got a high start, and I think that because sometimes versatility in the NBA can kind of get the cat. Just like curiosity, if you know what I mean. His ceiling isn't going to be considerably high because he's not a freakish athlete and his shooting ability is not like anything generational. But Jeff Teague hung around a long time in this league, and that's why I have him at the floor. Prime Jeff Teague was nothing to be played with at all. So Devin Carter, man, rooting for you. Keep it up. And to finish out the lottery, we have Carlton Carrington, 6'4", 195 pounds, a bona fide shooter. He will be playing the 1 and 2. Excellent decision maker, but a hell of a shooter with the rock in his hands. He can play on or off the ball. That is my favorite thing about him. And he will light it up. Create a shot off the dribble if needed. And he's just exactly what you want to see. To me, at 6'4", 200 pounds, drafted by the Blazers, my ceiling is going to be CJ McCollum. And that's going to be his veteran role model. If he can design his game and really take some tools from CJ McCollum. I don't know if y'all know this, but newsflash, we in 2025. That boy CJ McCollum is a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer, dog. Like, he's a Hall of Famer. Do not get it twisted. Go check the statistics. I think at least 7 All-Stars. 15,000 points. Gotta be, right? No, he's at like 20. Let's see how many points CJ McCollum got. CJ McCollum has been a 20-point scorer since at least 20 points. 20 points and 5 assists and 5 rebounds since 2015, ladies and gentlemen. And the year before that, he was averaging 6.3 points. Do not sleep on CJ McCollum. He's at 15, almost at 15,000 career points. And he's still going, by the way. He's still going. Hey, don't hate me. I'm just the messenger. I am literally just the messenger. I'm literally just the messenger. Hey, I'm rocking with CJ McCollum. Now, floor. I'm not trying to be funny either, man. I know I had some floors higher than others, but for me, it's just going to be a Norris Cole. Right? Good backup point guard, can shoot the 3, stood out before the league, but, can come off a screen and shoot it. Other than that, you want to choose Mario Chalmers, okay, cool, but nothing too crazy, But CJ McCollum, that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for that ceiling, that quiet Hall of Famer, that sneaky Hall of Famer. Y'all don't want to have that conversation that CJ McCollum better than Manu Ginobili. Y'all don't want to have that conversation. But hey, another topic for another day. Now, that's going to be the ending of the lottery. Now we have some notable picks. Quick. Philadelphia 76ers select Jared McCain at pick 16, 6'2", 203. I'm not sure why he fell so long because he was a 5-star throughout the entirety of high school, and he was highly, highly recruited going into college, and he has not come up short of the player he is in the slightest. I think the thing with Jared McCain, I think we know the thing with everybody with Jared McCain. He's a TikTok star. Like, unfortunately, shut up and dribble is never the move. But we are in that new generation of basketball, and I don't want to say teams don't like it because black man, go get your money however you can. But Jared McCain, when you drafting him, understand that you're drafting a TikTok star. Understand that probably his first focus when he gets in the facility, he gonna work his behind off. Once that phone get put away, once that flashlight, once that Ring camera's away, he gonna work his behind off. Just great guard, shoot the ball, lead a team, do it. Hey, I don't know where he fits in with Tyrese Maxey, but Jared McCain, he's a hooper, right? He's a hooper. So understand that his first priority may not be to shoot, his jumpers, but he gonna. He gonna lock in. But Jared McCain, definitely excited to see what he's gonna do. I'm surprised he fell to 16, but hey. Next up, we got the Los Angeles Lakers select DK out of Tennessee, Rocky Top. Tennessee Volunteers led those boys deep into March Madness, deep into March. Sucks they couldn't make it to the Final Four, but he showed up and showed out. Dalton Connect, DK at pick 17 for the Lakers, is a massive pick. He's like an Austin Reeves who plays bigger than an Austin Reeves. And that's crazy because AR-15 gets off his pull-up jumper no matter what. So, DK playing bigger than him, what does that mean? I'm loving this pick by the Lakers. Me being not the loudest and proudest Lakers fan, just because the Lakers basketball I grew up on is very different than the Lakers basketball I'm watching now, doesn't mean that I still don't love my team. But yeah, man, Dalton Connect, very excited, very, very excited. Next up, Utah Jazz select Isaiah Collier, 6'3", 205. First round with the 28th pick. Isaiah Collier, had another teammate get drafted, and many people were not the most happiest considering that technically, off of his collegiate stats, he should be undrafted. Technically, right? We had some guys go undrafted who played considerably worse. Considerably better, but we know who I'm talking about. But hey, glad that they both could get drafted. Who turns out to be the better prospect? Only time will tell. Right now, I guess Isaiah Collier is projected to be the better prospect because we've seen what he can do a little bit more for a little bit longer than playing on the same team, him leading that same USC Trojans team. But super excited to see how he cooks in Utah. And so, yeah, you go black man. Congrats. And now for what everybody's here for, the Los Angeles Lakers with the 55th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft. Los Angeles Lakers select Bronny James Jr. out of the University of Southern California. Clap it up! Clap it up! They pulled it off. LeBron James, Todd Crane. LeBron James. I'm the real Todd Crane. I'm the real Bronny James. LeBron James, I'm the real Bronny James, dog. I've been a big fan of Bronny since middle school. I love the fact that he always makes the right play. I love the fact that he can shoot an open jumper. I love the fact that he can. I won't say he's got the biggest bag like Rob, but I will say that he's just a very smart basketball player, and he knows. Bronny, you can tell he's always played organized ball. You can tell that he grew up playing basketball a certain way, right? When you see a Rob Dillingham, you don't really see that. You see a guy who's able to reap what he's sown with his creativity, and it's gotten him very far. But Bronny James, man, 6'2", if he keeps growing, he'll be, 6'3". He can keep growing. We've seen it happen multiple times. He's only 19. But yeah, you getting taught by one of the greatest in LeBron James. He will score a bucket in the NBA this season. A lot of great things will happen. He will be blessed. He's gotten a hell of an opportunity that many other people have not been able to get. We've seen plenty of NBA players' sons not make it to the league. We've seen the GOAT. Arguably, I like to stay away from that right here. We're analyzing. We ain't arguing. Michael Jordan had sons too. And he was a bucket at UCF. Go do your homework on Marcus. You know what I'm saying? And also went to a great high school and played great basketball in Chicago. So yeah, but I've been a big fan of Bronny. Love the fact that he's a floor general. Love the fact that he plays defense. Love the fact that he leads, but can also just as much play a role. And I think that if you're hating on Bronny, if you're not happy with the pick, I think that you'll learn to like it if he can stick around and just play a role and play it well. Now, the thing about Bronny is that people forget that kid got a 40-inch vertical. So if he can figure out how to implement getting to the rim more in his game, he's not a guy you want to jump with. Yeah, just because the highlights ain't there yet, he plays a very solid, concrete game. But it's coming. It's coming. And it'll be very interesting to see what Bronny James in 2K. Wow, good God. I'm getting old. But, don't take my word for it. Just watch what happens. It's your boy, Jay Glanton, back with another episode of Brothern Hospitality, taking it to Jay's Corner, where it's just me, and I update you guys on what's going on in the league, what's going on in the world of sports, what's going on in this thing we call life. Till next time, y'all stay frosty, and keep it very P, if anything else. Very P. Your boy Jay Glenn. And we'll talk soon. There's been another episode of Brothern Hospitality. Deuces. Hey, what Carl Anthony Towns say? Bro, bro. We're out of here. Deuces.